Welcome to episode 27 of Ralph's Stuff. Tonight, some kind words about URTV, which is channel 20. Snow, April the 6th, a late snow visits us. The first mowing of the year, always a rite of spring. A visit to Looking Glass Falls on April 6th also, at least in the nice part of the day. In Content 3, some more information from my Gorilla video class. Welcome back. Good to see you again, and I hope you enjoy the show tonight. It's a show of contrasts. Winter and spring all on one day. So I think you'll find it interesting. We have the first morning of spring contrasted with snow on April the 7th. So much for global warming, as you'll see. So again, we really do appreciate you watching the show and all the good comments we get on it. And I'm happy to do it for you guys. So onward and upward. Support public access television. URTV in Asheville, North Carolina has studios located in an old elementary school in downtown Asheville in Building A. For only a minimal membership fee each year, you can learn how to do television shows and be guaranteed to have your shows broadcast. Visit urtv.org on the net for more information. Join us today. Started snowing on the night of April 6, 2007. Now here in the North Carolina mountains, snow is not totally unusual. In April, it's just very rare. So I cranked up the aperture on my video camera so I could shoot some here in the poorly lit darkness and give you an idea of what it looked like to me. I thought it, to be honest, I thought it was just a flurry and would go away pretty soon. But it was still unusual enough to film it. Look at all the snowflakes and shown by the street light there. But I thought it worthy of filming. However, come the next morning, Saturday morning, April the 7th, I woke up to find, gee, we had a real snowstorm last night. It wasn't just a flurry after all. Not a huge amount of snow, maybe an inch or so, certainly enough to cover the ground and make it totally white. Interesting contrasts between the green trees and the snow as we look up towards a housing development above my place. And it was cold also out here. It's the Lieutenant Colonel. He's covered with snow. Should have put him in the garage last night, but I didn't, so he got snowed on. My little Bartlett pear tree, which was featured a couple of shows ago. A little maple tree starting to put out some leaves. Hopefully the freeze didn't hurt them. Another maple tree that was just starting to bud well. And down towards the old milk parlor here on the farm, where we used to milk the cows, and a large maple tree next to one of the barns that is putting out green. The old main barn, the big boxwood in my yard, and that's my house. A good snowfall. Not that we necessarily wanted or needed it, but we got it. Look how green those trees are. So, again, a marked contrast to the white of the snow. As we pan past my neighbors' houses. That, of course, is never green. It's always green, but we'll come back to some hardwoods. We'll take a up close and personal look at the snow. And then look out towards my barns again. And the house, and that's a maple tree directly in front of us and an apple tree to the left. Beautiful sky. Of course, the storm's over now, and back to my little Bartlett Partry. Now, only a few days before the snow that we just saw, it was looking like spring. In fact, we came to that momentous occasion of the first mowing of the year. Now, out here in Alexandria on the farm, we have about 2 acres we mow. All the lawns around their commercial buildings and the house, and even down around the old barns we mow. For many years, I did all this mowing myself. Had my own riding lawnmower and just got out there and did it. When I was a kid, that was one of my first chores, was to mow the yard. Of course, over the years, I keep expanding the yard and it gets bigger and bigger, so now that I'm getting a little more age on me and have a busy career going, I tend to pay other people to do the mowing. And I got somebody really good here. This is Keith Morris. Keith is a good friend of mine and goes to the same church I do, and he comes out and mows, and this is his son. His son's also named Keith. So I depend on them to keep the grass from overwhelming us. The two Keiths use zero-turn mowers to mow our extensive lawns. The zero-turn mower, there are many brands making this type mower now, has revolutionized mowing yards. The machine can literally turn in its own radius. So, and they're usually big and have like a 40 or 50 inch or even I've seen 60 inch mowing swaths. Yeah, you saw one there where he just turned. So it means that you can mow a big lawn in almost literally half the time as you could with the older conventional mowers. And you can also get in closer places like he's doing here along the edge of one of my office buildings. You can see he just zips around and turns. It's like doing a waltz on the grass. It's just incredibly graceful and inconvenient to mow this way. You get a close-up of the mower with the grass coming out. It's always sort of a special occasion, the first mowing of the year, because you know spring's coming and everything's going to be really nice for a few months. Of course, you don't always know that for sure, as we saw earlier in the show with the snow that came along after this mowing. But at least the snow had a nice, clean lawn to fall on. Oh well, anyway, as Keith goes out along the road, and the other Keith is mowing around trees. I have a lot of maple trees out here. I like maple trees. They grow fast and they grow big and they look good. So we use quite a few of them, although I've been planting more and more fruit trees. Always nice to have a nice apple tree coming along. Although I suspect with the cold spell we had April 6th, 7th, and 8th that probably won't have any apples this year. The apple trees were just starting to blossom, and that usually kills the apples for the year if they get a sudden late cold snap like we've had here. Keith's going down along one of the old barns. That's a tobacco setter to the left there. And I gotta get rid of those old water tanks. We never used them for anything. They're just taking up space there. Make a mental note to myself, clean up the place a little bit. See, I had my grill out. I had my grill out there because it was getting to be spring, and I enjoy cooking hamburgers and hot dogs and even an occasional steak. But the grill got covered with snow. Hey, it'll warm up again. I'll use it. It's a little maple tree we planted 2 or 3 years ago that's starting to take off. See how convenient it is with the zero-turn mower? Get right up and around it. Now they also use weed eaters to do the final trim, but there's a lot less work to do with the weed eater if you have a zero-turn mower. So you might, if you have a large yard, you might want to take a look at one. There's all sorts of brands. And most of the big box home stores sell them now, so you can usually find them at a pretty good price. They're a little bit more expensive than a regular lawnmower, but the less time you spend mowing, in my opinion, or especially now, the less time you pay, the less time you have to pay for people to mow is good. So look at zero-turn mowers. Looking Glass Falls in the Pisgah National Forest in Transylvania County, North Carolina, near Brevard, is one of my favorite waterfalls. In fact, this is probably the best known waterfall in the southeast because it's easy to get to. This 60-foot high fall is open to the public and easily accessible on the side of US Highway 276, approximately 5.6 miles north of the intersection of 276, US Highway 64, and NC Highway 280 in Brevard, North Carolina. It is an extremely popular waterfall, again due to ease of access to the falls, and there's even a concrete path, in fact you can see it there, leading down, getting you close to the waterfall, so you can look in the plunge pool and experience the spray coming off the fall. It's really neat. However, you do need to be careful. According to local emergency services personnel, there have been many injuries and deaths at the falls, mainly due to people who are, I should say, idiots who rock climb near the edge of the falls and accidentally fall in the plunge pool, or people who jump in the plunge pool. There's a lot of water going in there, guys. Don't do that. Persons who visit Looking Glass Falls should take care to respect both basic safety rules and the fragile environment that exists at the falls. Again, Looking Glass Falls is located in Transylvania County, North Carolina, which is a county located in the western part of North Carolina, somewhat south of Asheville. As of 2000, the population was 29,334. Sparsely populated. A lot of national forest lands take up a good part of the county, and it's very mountainous. The county seat is Brevard. The county was formed in 1861 from parts of Henderson and Jackson counties. Its name is derived from the Transylvania Company and has Latin origins, which means across in woods. The interesting part is, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, there are over 250 waterfalls in Brevard County. In Transylvania County. 250 waterfalls. Many are located reasonably close to roads, and there are hiking trails to a lot of the others. So you can spend a whole summer just exploring waterfalls in Transylvania County. The falls are easily reached from Asheville. It's about 35 miles or so total. Go down Highway 280 until you reach the juncture of 276 with 280 and also 64 at the same intersection. Turn right onto Highway 276 like you're going up towards the Blue Ridge Parkway, and it's about, and from that intersection it's 5.6 miles up to Looking Glass Falls. There'll be a small parking area on the right, and you'll be able to see the falls from the road. So it's extremely convenient to get to. And while you're in the area, you might want to visit Brevard also. Brevard is the county seat again of Transylvania County, and the U.S. Census Bureau says as of 2000 there were about 6,643 people. Not about, exactly 6,643 people in Brevard. Brevard's located at the entrance to the Pisgah National Forest and has become a noted tourism, retirement, and cultural center in western North Carolina. The nice thing about it's little more than about a 30 or 40 minute drive from Asheville. Best way, again, go down Highway 280, go out to the airport exit on I-26, turn right, that's 280, and just keep going until you get to Brevard. You can also go from Hendersonville out Highway 64 through Etowah, going west. Brevard's the home of Brevard College. As we move on down closer to the falls, Brevard College is a 4-year liberal arts institution and with nationally recognized programs in music and environmental studies. The town is also home to Brevard Music Center, one of the nation's preeminent summer music teaching and performance institutions. They have wonderful concerts. Again, something else you can go to. The city is nicknamed the Land of Waterfalls due to the many waterfalls in the area, including, of course, Looking Glass Falls, but also Conisty Falls, Sliding Rock, and, as we said, about 250 others. Another way to get to Looking Glass Falls is to go out the parkway from Asheville. Go south towards Mount Pisgah and beyond. A lot of good scenery that way. And look for the Highway 276 intersection. Go east on 276. You're going rather quickly down the hill. Not quite as quickly as this water falling off of Looking Glass, but pretty quickly. And there's other interesting places to visit on Highway 276, which you'll reach before you get to Looking Glass Falls. It's 7 or 8 miles down to the falls from the parkway. But the Cradle of Forestry, which has a museum and trails letting you see the history of forestry in western North Carolina, is very well worth visiting also. Looking Glass Falls got its name from the large rock areas known as Looking Glass Rock that freeze over in the winter. Ice freezes on them and makes it very reflective, so it put people, the pioneer ancestors, in mind of a great big mirror. So that's where the name comes from. The falls, as mentioned at the very first, are 60 feet high. Quite a bit of water comes down off of that rock in a very precipitous fall down into what's called the plunge pool. It's a technical name meaning much water hits really quickly. That means there are a lot of undertows and whirlpool-like currents within that. So once more, there goes a bicyclist up the road, bicyclist. Once more, do not jump into the plunge pool. You'll be drawn under and thrown around in many ways. It looks very peaceful and safe, but it is not. Watch people come back up the concrete steps and walkway. So take time out this summer to visit Looking Glass Falls and the rest of the wonders of scenery you'll see in Transylvania County. I think you'll enjoy it a lot. It's a nice view through the woods towards the fall. This is from the overlook up on the highway. As our visit to Looking Glass Falls comes to an end for the day, this was a beautiful day. I'm back in the Lieutenant Colonel, my four-wheel drive full of shock and awe that we do rapid wrap runs of roads in, and getting ready to head back down 276 towards Brevard. I gotta get back to Asheville and go back to work. But it's been a beautiful spring day. This was on April the 6th. And unfortunately, on the night of April the 6th, it snowed and spring ended and winter came. So much for global warming. See ya.
And that's the way most people learn, is seeing something you're interested in, how other people do it, and then adapting it to the way you want to do things, but still you get the general rules.
Yeah, now on hat making thing that I'm doing, I noticed that I repeat several times how to do certain things because, you know, I've been doing this over a period of 6 months. I've been shooting this.
Yeah.
But I notice on real TV, you get a lot of repetition. They like on Flip This House, which is a program I get a big kick out of.
Yeah, I watch it occasionally.
They repeat a lot. You know, a lot of document or informational type programs really do a lot of repetition of the same.
Yeah, but that's really not good. It's simply that they're turning out a lot of programs very fast. They aren't doing much research.
Yeah, I understand that. Like whenever I tell them how to get hat blocks 2 times instead of just 1 time, I figure, well, you know, if it's good, still good footage, I don't necessarily feel like I have to edit it out.
Again,
depending upon the quality that's in there.
Are you saying in the same episode repeating? Or
no, later on, in a different area.
Yeah.
In a different area, like, first of all, I'm teaching them how to do straw hats, but then 45 minutes down the road, I might be teaching them how to do a certain type of felt hat, and I might repeat a little bit of a point that I made earlier.
I got you.
So I don't get carried away. I haven't edited out all of my repetition. I've left some of it in.
Yeah. Well, some's okay because the old teaching adage is you tell them what you're going to tell them, you tell them, and then you tell them what you told them.
Yeah.
Well, my philosophy on learning goes back to my Army days, because you didn't have to learn in the Army because you're going to be told that same thing over
and over, yeah.
You will learn it whether you want to learn it or not because you're going to
Through
hear
osmosis.
repetition.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, no one has to learn anything in the Army. You just have to listen.
Yeah, I had much the same experience.
Unless we're talking some technical stuff, but the basic concept,
Yeah.
I remember very well. You will learn.
Yeah.
Because you're going to hear it way more than 10 times.
Yeah. Usually repeated by somebody big and mean, a huge sergeant.
Or little and
tends to sink in
A
though.
little baby rooster.
Yeah.
Dude.
5'2" and he's red-headed and his toes turned up at the end and he talked to walk. Never got scared of that little rascal.
Yep. Okay, other questions? Now, what I've attempted to do, and I hope I've accomplished it during these 3 nights, is give you enough impetus to get you started. There's no way I could have filled in all the technical details that you'll really eventually need and that you'll slowly accumulate. But I wanted to get you excited. I wanted to get you out there looking for bananas like gorillas do. And the more stuff you have on film, the more you can do. You know, like when you're around the house, just film the kids some, you know, eventually you'll be able to use it to illustrate something or the other, or just as fill-in as you go from one subject to another. So I've enjoyed it. I hope you guys have.
And good basics.
Yep.
Which is, for any URTV access candidate out there thinking about joining, I mean, you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah. And if you like the class, tell other people because I'm going to teach more of them. I feel like I'm giving back to all you guys who have inspired me so much out here to do stuff. So if I can help the station by doing this, and certainly I help by making them a little bit of money, but also by getting more programming to put on the air, and that's what they need desperately right now. We got to get some excitement going in this station. That's one thing we haven't had yet, I think.
I just wish we kind of get AB Tech involved in providing some more classes. I think there would be a demand. I don't think
that would be nice, you know, because
well, there's AB Tech, there's UNCA, and there's Eastern Carolina. All 3 of those institutions have some.
But AB Tech's continuing education
video.
Us adults can go to that, in the evenings and do stuff. I took a course from them on picture framing recently, and I learned a lot and really enjoyed it. But there are a lot of things about video that I would like to learn. I would be glad to take classes on.
Well,
and
I
a lot of other
some
people.
basic good camera instruction.
Yeah.
And I had asked Paul would he consider doing it, and he said, yeah, but I haven't heard anything happening yet.
Well, Paul is no longer with us, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
he was still going to come in and say he was
He's still around though, right?
Oh, yeah, he's still around.
Yeah,
He's still helping out here.
Work for some nonprofit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he could, even though he's not working here,
Mm-hmm.
he could
No,
offer
of
classes
course,
at the same
yeah,
level as
yeah.
what you're doing.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, and he maybe would have more time to do
Yeah,
that.
and he's a very good instructor. I took his studio class here and learned a lot in a very short time.
Right, he knows a lot
Short
about
time.
cameras.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I took the equipment and it was just, okay, don't break the equipment.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It was just,
Well,
cameras are complicated.
Yeah, but what they're doing now is extending the course to 2 hours, and that's still minimal, but it's
Yeah, that's
better
not
than
enough.
1 hour.
That's not enough to learn
Yeah.
on these professional level cameras.
But I'd like to see a lot more, I hate to use the word because not everyone relates to the military, but Richard will understand, esprit de corps. Yeah, more excitement, more of a sense of community, more people helping other people do things, like your relationship with me doesn't end with it as this class ends. I'm still available. She can tell you, and she's asked me several questions. I've tried to help. Richard's asked me things, and I've helped. You can email me or call me, and if you have questions, I'll do my best to help you.
Well, as we go along, I know we're going to have more and more questions. So
Yeah.
But I
And-
think those questions will be stepped educational questions. What I mean by that, basically, is as you gain proficiency, your questions will be a little bit more detailed questions.
Sure.
And I see
Yeah.
that happening in this. But going back to what you said a minute ago, esprit de corps. The only issue I think with that is that most people work full time.
Yeah.
And that's hard, and that's a hard balance. And I think if there's a minimum, I think they're successful.
Yeah.
The simple fact, it's just very.
I think that, well, what I'm talking about, I've noticed a big drop off in message traffic on the mailing list and also postings on the URTV board,
Well, haven't they moved into some different things? I mean, it seems like there's messages going on in other places. And
I hope so. I don't know what places they are, though.
Because what I'm thinking he's thinking or saying is there's a Yahoo message board that you sign up.
And that had a lot more messages being posted than the bulletin board here because
It's
the bulletin board here is so hard to use.
to need help or something. Whenever I had a concept out there, and there's a chart at the bottom of the page in the home page that talks about how many messages in the past 6 months, and you'll see a decrease go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But what I'm afraid is happening, and I think it is to some extent, is that people are afraid. They're really interested to start with, and then they come in and they get bedazzled by the technology, and they say, well, this is hard, I can't do this. What I'm trying to get across, and what I'm trying to give back to the community of producers here is that, no, it's not hard if you learn the basics first. The thing is to get the community working together where everybody's helping everyone else improve the programs, and then we all look good. I mean, I don't want to be the big star here. I want to be the big star on cable networks.
Nashville is a really interesting place. There's so much that's going on here, and there's so much talent and ability here. So many different perspectives.
Go to ralphwroberts.com to see this show again.